All right, let's talk about the world of herbal medicine. It's kind of like this huge, wild jungle, right? Today, we're not just going to wander in blind. We're going to learn how to read the map. We are cracking open the Handbook of Medicinal Herbs to figure out how you can navigate this whole thing safely. So, let's get into it.
You hear this all the time, don't you? It's natural, so it must be safe. I mean, it comes from a plant, from the earth. It's got to be good for you, right? Well, that's a huge assumption, and today we're going to put that to the test. We're not using opinions. We're using the hard data and the direct warnings from the experts who literally wrote the book. Okay, so here's our game plan for trekking through this jungle. First, why are we so drawn to herbs in the first place? Then, we'll crack the code of the handbook. We'll see the good stuff, the really bad stuff, and the stuff that's just messy. And by the end, you'll have your very own toolkit to find your way.
So first things first, what's the big deal with herbs anyway? Why are so many people into them? Well, it's pretty simple, really. Think of any problem, any ailment. Chances are there's a plant out there somewhere that someone at some point has said can help. The potential feels absolutely endless. I mean, just look at a carrot. Yeah, a regular carrot, probably sitting in your fridge right now. The handbook lists this incredible number of things it's been traditionally used for. We're talking everything from different types of cancer to high blood pressure, diabetes, even acne. It's wild. And if a simple carrot has that kind of reputation, you can just imagine how powerful some of the more exotic herbs sound. Okay, so if you're going to explore this world safely, you can't just chase after all those amazing potential benefits. That's how you get lost. You need the legend for the map, right? The little box that tells you what all the symbols mean. And lucky for us, the handbook has one. It all comes down to a few key ideas.
All right, first up is the word activities. This is the fun part. This is basically the what's in it for me section. It's the list of all the cool things an herb is reported to do. Is it an anti-inflammatory? Can it help heal wounds? This is all about the potential good stuff. Okay, but listen up, because this next one, this is probably the most important word in the entire book. Contraindications. And here is this single most important rule. You read this part first, before you even glance at the fun stuff. Think of it as the big flashing warning label from the experts. This is where it tells you, hey, don't take this if you're pregnant, or this will mess with your heart medication. Seriously, safety first.
So the handbook uses these simple codes to help you out. It's actually pretty brilliant. You've got your safety ratings. See the 3+ signs? That basically means it's super safe, even safer than your morning cup of coffee. But then you see an X. That means toxic. And if you see 3 X's, yeah, that's highly toxic. Stay away. Just as important are the evidence codes. An F means the claim is based on folklore, traditional use. And a 1 or 2 means there's actual scientific study behind it. These little codes, they're your compass in the jungle. All right, now that we know how to read our map, let's try it out. Let's navigate to one of the safe havens in the herbal world. We're going to use these new skills to check out an herb that gets a gold star for safety. Okay, say hello to calendula. You might know it as pot marigold. And look at that, right off the bat, what do you see? 3+ signs. That's our top tier safety rating. The handbook puts this squarely in the safer than coffee category. So far, so good. And then we look at its activities, the good stuff. And wow, look at that list. Anti-inflammatory, antiseptic, vulnerary. That's just a fancy word for promoting wound healing. It's got all this going for it. This is basically the dream scenario, right? A top safety rating combined with a long list of really useful evidence-backed benefits. But of course, it's not all safe harbors and sunny beaches. For every calendula, there's a hidden trap. So now let's flip the coin. We're going to use the exact same map reading skills to find a plant that is also 100% natural, but is flagged as seriously dangerous. Okay, look at this side by side. It doesn't get much clearer. On the left, our friend calendula with its 3++ safety rating. On the right, Christmas rose, safety rating a big X for toxic. Now look at its list of activities. You're not seeing things like wound healing. You're seeing abortifacient, it can cause a miscarriage. Cardiotonic, it messes with your heart. And then the handbook just spells it out. Irritant, poison, toxic. It's the same book praising one and putting up a giant red warning sign for the other. And sometimes the warnings aren't subtle at all. They're bone-chilling. This is a direct quote from the handbook about a plant called jacurity. The author just states it, plain and simple. 2 seeds have been enough to kill children. Just let that sink in for a second. 2. Not a handful. 2 tiny seeds. We're not talking about an upset stomach here. This is a life or death warning, written right there in a scientific handbook.
This is exactly why you always read the warnings first. It's not optional. But what happens when the map gets blurry? When even the experts seem to be arguing about which way to go?
Okay, so we've seen the clearly marked safe zones and the clearly marked danger zones. But maybe the most treacherous part of the jungle is where the map is smudged, ripped, or just plain confusing, where even the guides seem to be lost.
Check this out. This is a note from the author of the handbook himself, James Duke. He's talking about the plant larkspur, and he's basically saying, hey, there are a bunch of different kinds of this stuff. They all look alike, they're all poisonous, and I'm not even sure the official regulators know which one is which. I mean, when the guy who wrote the guide says he's confused, that is a massive red flag.
And this just perfectly captures the problem. You've got two different, totally legitimate expert sources, and they are saying the exact opposite thing. Source 1 says the official German regulators did not approve the herb hyssop. Source 2 says they absolutely did approve it. So who do you believe? If the experts can't get their story straight, what's a regular person supposed to do?
Oh, and it gets even weirder. In this case, the author points out that a single, major reference book seems to approve an herb called Scotch broom for hypertension, while also listing high blood pressure as a reason not to take it. So wait, it's good for high blood pressure, but you shouldn't take it if you have high blood pressure. It literally contradicts itself in the same entry. This is proof that you can't just skim this stuff. You have to read it with a critical eye.
Okay, so we've been through it all now. The good, the bad, and the just plain confusing. Let's take everything we've learned and boil it down into a simple, practical toolkit that you can actually use.
Look, the whole point of this was never for me to tell you, take this herb, avoid that one. No way. The goal is to give you the skills to look at this stuff and make your own informed decisions. It's not about what to think, it's about how to think, how to be a smart investigator.
So here is your 4-step navigation toolkit. Super simple. Number 1, safety rating first. Always. Before you read anything else, find out if it's a triple plus or an X. Number 2, read the contraindications, the warnings, before you read about the benefits. Your safety is way more important. Number 3, question the evidence. Is this just folklore or is there some science here? And number 4, watch for contradictions. If the experts are arguing or a source doesn't make sense, that's your sign to hit the brakes and be extra, extra cautious.
So you can see how learning to read the map instead of just listening to rumors is a total game changer. Now you can step into this huge, complicated, and sometimes dangerous world of herbal remedies without blind faith, but also without fear. You can approach it with smarts, with informed curiosity. So the only question left is, now that you can read the map, where are you going to explore next?